So we're about to celebrate Rosh Hashana, and I'd be remiss if I didn't make a young man's day, because one of my sons was born on Rosh Hashana. So happy birthday, Yosef. Rosh Hashana is also the birthday of mankind. That's the day that Adam and Eve were created. And that's the day every year that God revisits his handiwork. He checks us out. He wants to see how we're doing, individually, communally. And he dons his robe and he starts passing judgment. On the first day of Rosh Hashana, we read the Torah portion from chapter 21 in Genesis, involving the following. Sarah has her young son at long last after so many barren years, Isaac. But she sees his older half-brother, Ishmael, doing all sorts of dastardly things, endangering the physical and spiritual well-being of Isaac. So she tells Abraham, I need you to banish Hagar and her son Ishmael, your second wife and your eldest son. And Abraham, the paragon of kindness in the worst way, doesn't want to do this. He pleads with her, but she won't give in. And finally, God himself appears and tells Abraham, listen to Sarah. And so reluctantly, Abraham sends away Hagar and Ishmael. He gives them food and drink, of course, for the way, but Ishmael gets sick along the way. And he uses up too much water unexpectedly, and they run out of food and water. And now his life is forfeit. He's on his deathbed. His mother puts him under a bush. She moves away because she doesn't want to see her son die. She's crying out, and an angel appears to her. And he says, Hagar, don't worry, because God has heard the voice of the child, and he's judged him where he is now. Where he is now? That's strange. So the great commentator Rashi explains what was going on. There was a massive argument going on in heaven. As God was getting ready to intercede, the angels stopped him and said, God, please, we're begging you, don't save Ishmael. Let him die. His children, the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, they're going to kill so many Jews. He deserves death. Don't intercede. And God said to them, angels, I have one question for you right now. Is he righteous or is he wicked? And reluctantly the angels had to concede, he's righteous. What is Rashi talking about? What do you mean he's righteous? 5 minutes before, he was engaging in acts so despicable that they warranted banishing by Abraham and Sarah with God's approval. Now he's righteous? What did he do? What he did was he cried out to God. He recognized God not just as the master of the universe, but as his master. And he repented. He recognized that he had done things wrong. He regretted them. And he resolved not to repeat them. And in that transformative moment, he went from being so wicked that he deserved banishment and even death to deserving miraculous intervention by none less than God himself. And that's the transformative power of Rosh Hashana. Because what we're doing on that day is we're crowning God. We're putting him in his throne. We're recognizing that he's donning his robes. And it's difficult to do. In fact, it's much easier to crown God as the master of the universe than it is to crown him as the master of ourselves. Because that implies that we have responsibilities, obligations. But when we do that, when we recognize him and accept him as our God, things flow naturally. Now we start to regret how we've frittered away the talents that he's given us, our time and our money and our resources, in vain or foolish or sinful pursuits. And we regret that. And we resolve not to repeat it. And we cry out, even if we don't know the words, even if we don't know what to say. We blow that shofar, that plaintive cry of the Jew who's saying, God in heaven, our God, my God, I want to come back. I feel distant. Please take me back. And he reaches out on that day and he brings us back. And that's the way that we gain, God willing, a happy and a healthy and a sweet new year.